We conducted, this is PASER ratings, of course, and for those that are not familiar, that is Pavement Surface Evaluation Rating. I don't know what the A stands for. I think they threw it in there to make it make sense. So that's what it stands for. It is a standardized system, definitely used in the state of Michigan and other states in the Midwest and across the country. So I conducted the ratings along with representatives from the road owning agencies as well as MDOT in July and August of this year. We are required to rate 50% of the network, and this is federal aid only, but we do the whole network every year, and we're going to continue to do that. So it's MDOT, Allegan County Road Commission, the City of Holland, Ottawa County Road Commission, and City of Zeeland. Those are the territories we rate. It's about 350 miles, 2,300 road segments, which could range from 30 feet to a mile or more. So they're just split up however they are on a statewide basis. And it's a 1 through 10 scale. So 1 is going to be very poor, needs to be reconstructed. 10 is excellent, brand new reconstruction. So we drove over 500 miles, over 21 hours and 4 days. And these ratings, I just want to reiterate, they're used to prioritize future projects. So next slide, please, Judy. All right, this is what we're looking at for 2025. This is the whole MAC network. So you can see kind of the trends from the past 3 years as well. So this is good, fair, poor. So 1 through 4 is poor or red. 5, 6, and 7 are fair or yellow, and then 8 through 10 are green. This is just kind of an FYI so you can see the system. You can see the trend from last year. The good is down by 5%, but the poor is up as well. So it's up 6% from last year, and fair is about the same.
There's a question. Do you end up evaluating the why? I mean, some of those swings are a little larger than I want.
Right. We have not dove into that yet because it's fairly complicated. That's something on my radar to jump into. But usually, I mean, I can tell from anecdotal experience riding around, you could have a road paved the year before and then all of a sudden it's a 7 the next year. It's just, a lot of it has to deal with wheel path, which are those divots in the road and some block cracking and things. So there's a whole list of things that would make the road degrade faster than it should.
One thing that we do want to do is do it every year, because I think having that data and eyes on the road every single year is really helpful. I personally think, and the one thing that you're trying to do in the asset management world, it's that fair. You're trying to make sure that fair stays fair. You don't want it to go to poor. So that's what you're fighting. So a lot of times that, it's kind of like putting shingles on your roof or your deck. You want to seal your deck before it gets bad. Because if it gets bad, well then, you know what? Now I got to do a whole new roof, or I got to get a whole new deck because those boards are shot. So if you can just do that preventative maintenance and really live in that fair world, then you have a decent transportation system. And once it gets poor, it's just a lot more expensive to bring it back up. So that's the goal. And I should say the one thing that PASER helps us with is there's degradation curves. So they have 20 some years of data now. So if you have a 2-lane road that's asphalt and it's rated a 5, you can kind of go to the graph and you can go, oh, I got a couple years left before it'll jump to poor. So you're looking at those degradation curves, and it's kind of charting where you're going to be in the future if you don't do something now. So it just helps with the decision making and developing a project level plan.
But you go either 23, 24, 25. The reds goes 18, 25, 31. That's a pretty crappy trend.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, it's not good. And the one thing that I think Eric kind of hit the nail on the head. You could do a chip seal and you'll go, okay, good, that's going to bring you back up to a 6 or 7. But within a year or two, if that chip seal was done on maybe, let's say, a 4, it can jump right back to a 4 or a 3, like within a year or two. And the degradation curves say you should get 4 years out of it. And in practice, you might only get 2, which, again, that's why I think it's good to keep doing it every year. Does that sound good, Brett? I know you know this stuff like the back of your hand, but it helps you make decisions. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's a good tool to have in the toolbox to rep.
And there's so many factors, soil conditions, freeze-thaw cycles.
If you get a
amount of
bad
traffic on the road, I mean, there's so many that's gonna impact.
Right.
I mean, you have to have that in your back of your mind when you're making decisions on what treatments you wanna, of course, the textbook is gonna dictate a lot of that.
Yeah. You usually want to do a more robust fix, but you don't have the money, so that's the other thing.
Now I'll break it down by the 5 road owners. So Judy, next slide, please. Okay, Allegan County Road Commission. So they have about 43 miles of roads. You can see the good, fair, poor, pretty balanced, I would say, for Allegan County, the federal aid roads. So on each one of these, I wrote some roads to think about, or stretches of roads to think about that are kind of the lowest end of the rating. So if Craig or Larry were here, they'd probably recognize some of these. 58th Street south of Blue Star, 146 west of 64th, and then 52nd from Otagon to 147th. That one in particular is going to be important because of LG over there, and a lot of people are using that road, as John probably knows. So, all right, next slide, Judy. Okay, City of Holland has almost 60 miles of federal aid roads. Again, almost balanced by thirds, just a little bit off, but it's trending more towards the poor in this situation. So some of the roads to think about would be 64th from Washington to Lincoln, 32nd from Old Orchard to Lincoln, and then 16th from Waverly to Country Club. And I know some of these are actually under repair or are going to be still this season. So next slide, please. MDOT is looking good. They actually have the best network in the area out of the 5. So they've done a lot of work the past several years in this area. So 113 lane miles, linear miles that they have. So good is 58%, fair 31%, and only 11% poor. And areas to think about for them would be 31 from Ransom to Port Sheldon. That's actually on our tip, so that will be taken care of. And then Chicago Drive, it's sinking in this area, 64th to 56. So MDOT's aware of that, and hopefully they will address that at some point in the future. Next slide, please. Ottawa County Road Commission, 120 miles, trending more towards the poor again. Some of the roads to think about, I'm not picking on them by giving them 4. I just had room to fit 4 here. So, James from 132nd to 31, Chicago Drive 112th to Zealand, Douglas right in front of our office, and then 96 from Perry to Woodbridge. Next slide, please. City of Zealand. So I always offer Kevin Plackmeyer to ride around, and he says just run with it. So we do this with Ottawa County to save Kevin some time. So they have 14 miles of federal aid roads, pretty balanced there. Some roads to think about: Jefferson from Roosevelt to McKinley, which is that western road. It's a residential road. Central from Elm to Maple, and Church from Maine to Washington. I know that one's on our tip, so that'll be a full reconstruction on Church Street.